28 and verse 68.
But by what way of transportation?
Ship.
Slave ship. Did that happen to anybody else?
Not that I know of.
It did. It did. Watch this. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
Stop. Go to Exodus 28. What does God mean when he said, we still reading the punishment of the curses that he was going to put on them for breaking his laws. So what does God mean when he said he was going to bring the Israelites back into Egypt on ships? Because they didn't go into Egypt on ships when you read the Bible. Or did they? Watch this. What you got?
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. Verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So this guy talking to the Israelites. You know, this right after he brought them out of Egypt as slaves. He say, I'm the Lord, your God. I ain't everybody else God. I'm your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, out the house of bondage. The house of bondage. What's another word for bondage? What does bondage mean?
To be tied up.
To be tied up or captive.
Or held down.
Held down. It's going into slavery.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right, bondage. The house of bondage means the house of slavery. That's what he referred to Egypt as. Read the Bible, it means slavery. The iron furnace. What he was going into.
Egypt is Greek for slavery.
Right, that's Egypt Greek for right.
I ain't never know that.
Right. Because the original landmass was another word. It's called Mizraim. But today we call it Egypt. Egypt means slavery. That's what slavery means. But that's what Egypt means. So go back to Deuteronomy 28.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
So when God refers to Egypt, he means slavery. Watch this. Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
What Egypt mean? Again.
Again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
How did we get here to America?
Ships.
What was we made when we got here to America?
Slaves.
We was made slaves. So this Egypt we referring to is talking about America. America. We was gonna be brought here to America on ships. America is spiritual Egypt. I'll show you how it's spiritual Egypt. You got the dollar bill? Watch this. The pyramid. Where are the pyramids? Where are the pyramids? Egypt. What does Egypt have to do with America? Nothing. Only thing is we were made here as slaves in America. The same way we was made as slaves in Egypt.
Hey, real quick. Go ahead. I was gonna say, all these symbols that America used on their coins and all of that, they come from Egypt. And then not only that, right? All of the paganism, Christmas, all of these pagan holidays and all of that started in Egypt. That's why God called this place Egypt. When you read in Revelation 11 and 8, it's called spiritual Egypt, right? You know what I'm saying? Literally, he called it this. It's a spiritually called Egypt. Why? Because the pyramid, all the eagle, all of that stuff comes from Egypt. Not only that, the children of Israel were slaves in Egypt and slaves here. You know what I'm saying? We built up Egypt, and we built up America the same way. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we refer to it as Egypt. You know what I'm saying?
So USA daughter of Babylon.
Let's go into America.
Let's go to America. America got medieval titles: Babylon, Sodom, Egypt. You know what I'm saying?
I heard Babylon before. I ain't know it was considered America though.
Like to the daughter of Babylon, not today. You know what I'm saying? Mystery Babylon, when they talk about it in the scriptures, that's America today. That great city where everybody want to be. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
So on the dollar it say the United States of America, but on the back you got the pyramids. Like you say, the pyramids are in Egypt. And then you got the eagle symbolizing America.
Freedom.
It's letting you know.
Supposed to be wrong, not supposed to be symbolizing freedom. That's the
Right, the eagle represents like dominance, the predator. You know, nothing hunts down the eagle. And that's how America feels, like nobody can take over America. And it's true in a sense. It's gonna take a bunch of empires to take down this place. But watch this.
Let me get that in what was that, verse 47, 49?
Let's finish reading this first. So when God said he was gonna bring the Israelites back into Egypt, Egypt was talking about America. On ships. We was brought to America on ships. Read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there,
And where?
and there,
Meaning here in America. Once you got off those ships, really,
ye shall be sold unto your
you
enemies.
shall be what?
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And when we got off those slave ships, we were sold.
It's on the wall.
We were sold on auction blocks. You know, they would separate our mothers from their daughters, our fathers from their sons, husbands from wives. We were sold on auction blocks. 45, 55, 65 sold to Master Charles down in Louisiana. These was the atrocities that happened to us, pre-prophesied in the Bible, before it even happened. This is what we read. Finish that off.
And ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And it means when it say no man shall buy you, that means no man shall redeem you or save you out of slavery. So what does that mean in our sense when you look at it today? Who tried to save us out the conditions we was in? Our black leaders, the black activists. Harriet Tubman, she couldn't free all the slaves. Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, both failed in their slave revolts. Later you had Dr. King. Well, later you had Marcus Garvey, Dr. King, Malcolm X. And today we still at the bottom of society. God said no man shall save you. Only man that's gonna save us is Jesus the Christ, the black Messiah, right here.
You used to be able to buy people out of slavery too. You used to be able to buy people out of there. The Lord said, anybody buying us out of this.
Right. So my original question was, if we God's people, why are we suffering today? Why are we at the bottom of society? Why do we go into slavery on slave ships? We showing you why, because we broke God's commandments. Today we still breaking God's commandments. Here it is, God say, thou shalt not eat swine. Don't eat pork. You love eating pork. Bacon, throw that pepperoni on a pizza, sausage, chitlins. God say, not to have sex outside of marriage. Marriage is honorable, but whoremongers and adulteries, he gonna judge. But yet, you know, we popping them condoms. We sex outside of marriage, sneaky links. Our women out here living hot girl summers. We smoking weed. So we doing everything contrary to God's law. So that's why our ancestors fell, and that's why we falling today. We still getting gunned down, fill up in the penitentiary. God allowed it to happen because we are disobedient children. Watch this. Amos 3:1. Hold on. But before you leave from Deuteronomy 28, read verse 32 real quick. So that's what we teaching our people, identity first and foremost. Because here in these last days, the prophecy is that we was going to wake up after 350 years. Okay, so now we're waking up in these last days and coming back to our identity. Our identity is found in this Bible. We are the children of Israel. So now coming back to our identity, we must begin to repent and follow God through his son, Jesus the Christ. That's the only way we're going to see any kind of change within our people. This the solution right here, because it's easy to identify problems. Are we this, we that, we this? What's the solution? The solution is God's law. What's the problem? Oh, black on black crime. What's the solution? Love your neighbor as yourself. Marriage, because the father's not in the households. Or single mothers, single fathers. If you bridge that gap, bring them together, then you won't have as many vigilantes running around here, you know, being a trouble, a nuisance to the community. So this is the solution right here. God's law, our identity. That's the prophecy. What I asked you?
Deuteronomy 28 and 32.
Yeah, read that real quick.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Read verse 48. So he says our sons and daughters was going to be given unto another people. That's going into slavery once again. They separated the mothers from the fathers, the sons from the daughters, the husbands from the wives, and they sold them to different families. He said we didn't have no might in our hand to stop them. We tried to slave revolts, Gabriel Prosser, Nat Turner, and many others, to no avail. Either one of the slaves ratting them out, hey master, they finna do a slave revolt. They end up killing them, or it amounted to nothing. You had the slave revolt in Haiti, and Haiti's still at the bottom of Sinai. Matter of fact, I think that was Britain made them pay all their money back for revolting against their slave master. They said, we lost money. Y'all gotta pay us that all back.
They made them pay reparations.
Right. So the point is, all of this was Bible prophecy right here. The yokes of iron on my neck, and they had chains on their neck. Read that real quick. Put it in.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So God sent them against us. That's the answer. God sent them. God made us go through this because of our disobedience. It wasn't that just the white man just wake up one day and was like, oh, let's go and slay them niggas. No, God put that in their mind to go and do that. To fulfill. But this was punishment. This is a whooping right here. Rick?
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
One of all things we gotta go to the white man for, or another nation. Rick?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So we had yokes of iron on our neck. No other. There you go. Right. And you see the Native American Indians got it, had it, and the black man had it, quote unquote. But God said we are one people. In these last days we coming together. He said he ain't gonna have two more nations no more, but one nation and one king. That's Jesus the Christ, this black man right here, black Messiah. This is what Christ look like according to the Bible, you know.
Said what?
Said this is what Jesus Christ looked like according to the Bible. You ain't know. He's a black
Kind of
man.
what I'm picking up.
Yeah, so give me 1 Kings 8 real quick. 46. So we're showing you today your identity and why these atrocities happen to us. That's the great mystery. It's a sign and a wonder. Why these things happen to us? We don't know for centuries. Now we know today because we break God's laws. So now in these last days, you must return back to God. You must. Because either you're going to suffer judgment in this life or the next. Most likely both. You're going to suffer both in this life and in the next. Because there is a life after death. Your spirit don't just die. Your spirit goes back to the Father. You know. So watch this. What you got?
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 46. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not.
So God said, if their men, they sinned against me. The Israelites sinned against God. We have sinned against God. You sinned against God. I have sinned against God. Watch this. What you got?
For there is no man that sinneth not.
There's no man that sinneth not. Read.
And thou be angry with them.
God angry with you when you disregard what he tell you to do. Read.
And deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives. Far unto the. Let me start it over. 1 Kings chapter 8 and verse 46. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not, and thou be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near.
So God said he was angry with us, and he led us away captive to the land of the enemy, far or near. What was far? The trip from Africa to South America, to the West Indies, to North America. That was far. What was near? The Native Americans that was already here, captive in their own land. So he said Judah and Ephraim, Native Americans and the blacks, going into slavery because of disobedience. Read.
Verse 47. Yes, if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they will carry captives, and repent.
It says, but yet, in all of that, if they shall bethink themselves. Bethink meaning remember who you are. Think means to repent. Bethink. To repent yourself, to
Come back to reality.
there you go. To overlook your sins, your past.
If they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they will carry captive, and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carry them away captive, saying,
Meaning here in America, saying,
we have sinned.
I've sinned against God. I used to smoke weed, used to sell weed. I used to be out here eating pork. Rick?
We have sinned and have done perversely. We have committed wickedness.
We have committed wickedness. This is what you gotta do, Rick.
And so return unto thee.
And return it to the Father, meaning keeping his commandments. There's a process. You gotta begin keeping the Lord's commandments. Watch this, read the next verse.
And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies.
Next verse.
Verse 49. Then hear thou their prayer, and their supplication in heaven.
God said, then he gonna hear our prayer and supplication in heaven. Because in case you haven't noticed, God ain't been answering our prayers. Grandmama been praying for years. Granddaddy been praying for years. And we still at the bottom of society. God ain't been hearing our prayers because we've been evil. How he gonna hear our prayers and our breaths break apart? God don't listen to the prayer of sinners. God said, then he gonna hear our prayers. Read.
Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place,
Right.
and maintain their cause. And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgression wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carry them captives.
So all this going into, when all this happened right there, what's next? The kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is going to be established on earth and ruled by us, the Israelites.